Boom. There it is. Folks, how are you? Welcome to the Mañana morning check-in. My name is Kurt Von Onen, and I am your host of the Mañana morning check-in and everything online that is Mañana. Just asked my client in San Francisco. She Googled Mañana and all my stuff come up for pages, which is really, really cool, right? When you do web work and you help people out online, and then they recognize, they go, oh, crap, he knows what he's doing. That is such a cool experience. I want to share with you another cool experience. I really, really enjoyed this, and I hope that you'll indulge me for just a moment. This weekend, I really needed to, I talk about this every now and then, right? I just needed to unplug, right? There were things at home, there was things I was working on, there was just like a confluence of stress. And if I were to, think about Andrew S. Oakes, right? He'd be like, to reduce your stress, you need to take some things out, right? So I unplugged. And for only the third time in 5 years, I threw my leg over my Hayabusa and I rode the thing for fun. I didn't ride it to go anywhere. I didn't have to look at the clock to make sure that I was on time. I just hopped on the motorcycle and left, right? And I decided to go south. So I was heading south and I thought, well, is it going to be, what am I going to do? San Diego, Mexico, where am I going to go? And so there is a mountain near me called Palomar Mountain. So I decided to head down towards San Diego, hang the left, take the nice ride out to go up Palomar Mountain, which is a real twisty ride. And, I'm not speeding like crazy, right? I'm 40, 50 miles an hour up this hill, right? Just having a good time, doing my thing, looking at nature and the sights and just clearing that brain space and having that super valuable moment, right? And I stopped to take a picture. I'm near the top, so I stopped to take a picture. I did a quick little video that I actually forgot to post. So I'll post that up for people on my social feeds to see where I was over the weekend. But I get up to the top and there's a little shopping center with a restroom there. And I know the restroom's there because I've been there before. And so as I was taking the picture, two guys on sport bikes go by, right? You see them coming up the hill, right? And there they go, right? They're like on 600s. And one was a Honda. I know that for sure. I think the other one was a Kawasaki. And as I pull up to the restroom, those two bikes are there and they're taking their helmets off and all that stuff. So I pull up next to them and I flip the visor up and I go, good morning, fellas, and they're younger. They're probably mid 20s. If they were 30, I'd be surprised. And mid 20s or something, right? And so they're talking to each other. I say, good morning, fellas. And I take my helmet off and the one kid goes, oh my goodness, you rode that thing up here? And I said, yeah, that's how you get up here, right? And he goes, no, I can't believe it. He goes, isn't that a 1300? I said, yeah, it's a GSXR 1300. It's a Hayabusa. And he goes, oh, how much horsepower does that thing make? I said, well, just under 200 horsepower. I said, but it's okay. But once you get it rolling, it handles like another bike. It's fine. And as I'm taking my gloves off and getting ready to go over to the restroom, they start looking at each other's tires, and they look down and one goes, oh, you're really leaning over a lot, man. You're getting close to the edge, man. You're getting there. Oh, let me see your chicken strips. Chicken strips on a motorcycle, by the way, on a sport bike is the center of the tire. I could use this box as an example. Okay, so let's say a tire is this wide, right? And a motorcycle tire is generally round, right? So if they wear out just the center of the tire, that's their chicken strip, because they're too chicken to lean the bike over and wear out the sides of the tire, right? And so they're basically looking at each other's tires and patting each other on the back. Oh man, you're really getting there, man. You're getting there. And then the kid walks around behind my bike and he goes, oh my God, man, you really lean this thing over. And of course there's not a chicken strip on my tire. So it was pretty funny. I said, well, yeah, I like to have a little bit of fun. I said, but I wasn't going that fast. I mean, I probably didn't go over 50, the whole way up the hill. And they were like, over 50. And it was just funny. I really, really enjoyed it. Those types of things happen sometimes, and it's a hoot. It reminds me of the time when I was doing a track day on a Katana. I used to have a Katana 750, and people would make fun of those bikes. They would say, "Oh, can of tuna," and it's a sport touring bike. It's not a sport bike. But I was out doing a track day on one and really enjoying it. And I had a GSXR 1100 at the time. I had ridden GSXR 750s. I mean, I had a ton of bikes, and I was one of the instructors at the event. And a guy with a Ducati came up to me, and this is before I worked for Ducati. Guy with a Ducati came up to me, and he said, "Hey, man, are you giving people, tours of the track and showing people the track?" I said, "Oh, absolutely. You want to go?" He goes, "Yeah. Well, which bike are you riding?" I said, "I'm riding the Katana over there." And he goes, "Nah, man, not that. That's all right. I'll figure it out." I said, "All right, well, have a good day." And then he was out there, doing laps. And then I came around him so fast in a corner. It was hilarious. And when I pulled into the pits, I pulled into the pits, and he comes up and he goes, "Man, that's not a regular Katana, is it?" I said, "Completely stock, bro. Do you want me to give you a tour of that track now?" And I love those moments, right? It's not about being overly braggadocious. It's just how the situation plays. And it, just gives you that good feeling. So today's Monday, and I don't know what good feelings you got coming your way this week, but I sure hope that they are strong. I put out the daily email today. I didn't pre-plan it. I didn't schedule it out last week. I wrote it this morning. And so if you're on the daily email list, you got a, kind of a from the heart message this morning that was kind of like, are you driven? Are you making something happen? And part of that came from my weekend. And part of that is just looking at everything else that we have playing on here in the Mañana no Mas framework, right? So Mañana no Mas is an entity. Mañana no Mas, there's a group of us. We work together. We make membership and learning websites for other customers. We take care of some digital marketing tasks, things like that. And I'm very fond of the Mañana no Mas name. It means, don't put off till tomorrow what you can do today. And we don't miss deadlines. We don't go over budget. Those are the things with Mañana no Mas. Now, there are two key projects with Mañana no Mas. One is the Power Sport Academy. Now, the Power Sport Academy is very personal. That's a Kurt-driven thing. And the Power Sport Academy is kind of my space in power sports, where I'm able to help service departments in motorcycle dealerships increase their revenue through parts and labor sales. I do this by teaching folks about communication skills, which they've probably never really had any formal communication training, right? Because they're motorcycle folks. Like it's like saying pick something. You're a computer genius, right? And all of a sudden you want to open a store selling computers, and you can't figure out why your customers don't seem to like you, right? It's probably because you're a geek. You can play it on a computer all the time, but you haven't really had customer communication training, right? So you need to kind of bring yourself up to speed on how to communicate properly with people in person, and how to use voice inflection and all that stuff, physical communication, body language, all of that, right? And so I teach them communication skills. And then once the demand for their services grows based on the relationships and those communication skills, I also help them with the efficiencies and productivity tools in the back through process, right? So that's a huge passion point for me. And so I'm reaching out hard to any dealership owners, general managers, people that make that type of buying decision, to help train their service staff so that they can optimize their parts and labor sales. I have seen some awesome results with this training. I've seen dealers bring in an extra $400,000 to $600,000 in a year, just for a mid-sized dealership, with 3 to 4 technicians, through having this type of training for their people. So it's a huge passion point for me, because to be able to drive that much value through a single store, they always say, go for the low-hanging fruit, right? Well, if I wanted to be a leadership coach and work with CEOs and all this kind of stuff, I mean, there's a ton of people that do that, but there's not a ton of people that take that same skill set and kind of morph it and apply it to this demographic. And I've seen such a huge return, both personally and financially, through working with people at that level. So I love it. I absolutely love it. The other thing is the Challenge Connection. The Challenge Connection is our latest project. It's a little more hands-off for me, though, right? Power Sports Academy is hands-on. right? I'm working with dealership personnel. I'm teaching, I'm training, I'm coaching. They're using, the on-site resources that we have for them for the learning materials and all that. Boom. Challenge Connection is a little different. Challenge Connection is an online property that somebody can sign up into to host their own online challenge, like a Facebook challenge, except in Facebook, it's like a first in, first out file. And sometimes things get unorganized. And sometimes you lose track of your challengers because they get lost in the flow of it, right? I wanted to build a challenge hosting site that allowed people to have, everything from day one and day one, everything from day two and day two, and just keep it organized throughout the span of the challenge. And so I built Challenge Connection, and people can sign in there and build their own challenge sites and host them. And then, of course, own all of the user data through hosting their own site, right? So they own all that. Now, I'll be honest with you, it's new. It's been out less than a year. We've had a few users come through. We've done the whole proof of concept, and it's very successful in that regard. I am looking at pricing and access and packages and things like that. And so if you check out that site and you've got some valuable feedback for me in a way to make that better or more palatable, I would love, love, love to hear from you. I mean, we've got some packages in there that are super affordable. And then we've got a package at the top, which could basically replace all of your websites, right? I mean, it could be your CRM, your website, your challenge tool, online training. I mean, it can do everything. But, it's about $600 a month. So that one is up there. But I'd really like to hear from some folks and see, what they would be looking for in this type of a web project, right? Because if there's something I can tweak to make it better, I'll certainly do so. But those are my things, right? So I wanted to talk about so what's driving you? Well, obviously, I spoke about Power Sports Academy pretty emphatically. That's a huge driver for me, right? And then the Mañana no Mas side of doing this type of tool development and building this stuff out for other businesses is a big passion point for me as well. I love to see how you can build something for somebody, kind of pass it off to them and watch them find success with it. That to me is really, really, really cool. And then of course, the association that you grow by doing business with other businesses, right? You just get some like-minded, successful people together, and it's amazing what that energy can do, what it can push forward, and the drive it can give you. Like the email said this morning, what's driving you? How are you driven, right? And so think about that today, if you get the chance. I mean, just really think about, when you got up this morning. I got up super early today. I had work to do. I got up at 4:30 in the morning. So when you are going through your day, or when you're saying, man, I got to get up early, what are you getting up early for? Right? Is it to make other people happy, or is it to drive towards something that you're personally passionate for? And that's a fair question right now. I mean, things are topsy-turvy all over the place, right? Whether it's politics, whether it's the education system, which could be politics, finances, employment, unemployment, right? These things, everything, the scales and balances are all off right now. And so now's your chance, right? I'm the guy. I'm the one that says, hey, find the opportunity within the obstacle, right? If everything's cattywampus and out of balance and off kilter, well, then now's your time. Now's when you can draw a line in the sand and you go, nah, I don't do that. I do this. This is what I want to do. See this? This is what I'm going to do. And then if you're passionate about it, you can use your sense of drive to make that a successful path. Folks, I hope I'm inspiring you. I hope you're getting something out of it. If you would, hit some feedback, put in a comment, send me an email, jump on the mañananomas.com website, hit the contact link, send me something. I want to know that you're hearing me. This is an important one today. We have to be driven. I'll just be honest. I am interacting with people on a daily basis where I'm seeing just vacated space, right? Like they're not plugged in, they're not driven. And they'll say, oh, I really want a new bicycle. I want to get a new car. I want to move. I want to get a new house. I want to do, okay, great. How? What are you going to do? Right? So a vision without action is just a dream. I don't know what I heard that last week, 2 weeks ago. Can't remember who said it. And I'm stealing it. I'm totally stealing it. Right? A vision without action is just a dream. And so in order to take action, you got to find drive. And what's going to drive you to make something happen? So maybe I didn't write it clear enough in the email today. Now I'm rethinking that a little bit, but I already sent it. So it's already out there, right? But it was like, I got up early. I got these things I'm focusing on. I'm making forward motion on A, B, and C. This is how I am driven. How are you being driven? Right? And maybe that came off a little too, patting on the back thing. But I believe, oh, I went off. I believe the best leaders lead by example. And I wanted to put it out there. This is what I'm doing. How are you following suit? How are you walking alongside of me? Right? Remember the leadership dance and leadership talked about sometimes you lead ahead, sometimes you get behind and give a push, sometimes you walk alongside. Well, this is your chance to walk alongside with me. Tune in, comment, join the mañananomas.com website. Let me know how we're walking alongside of each other, and let me know if this drive message makes sense to you. And maybe give me some hints on some messages you'd like to see coming up in the future. Folks, I'm going to go. That's enough for today. Love y'all. Have a good one. Be productive.